Yo, what is up? What is up? Hope everybody's having a good day. Just posting something real quick. Let's see. All right, what's going on, guys? Lot going on today. Podcast obviously dropped this morning. Best bet, gambling picks, all that good stuff. SEC football tube. What's up, man? Let me post a number here real quick in case anybody wants to text in, call in, whatever. You're more than welcome to do so. Taking your questions. I'm sure a lot of people. Actually, I don't think I cut off. Let me see. I'm sure a lot of people have questions on Jalen Brooks. It's okay. It's open. Jalen Brooks, why is he not eligible? So just that much closer to kickoff, though, as we're just 3 days away now. Very exciting, obviously. Very, very exciting. So if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, again, taking your questions, I will tell you guys and tease it. We have a massive interview for tomorrow's show. He's actually coming by the studio at 2:00. I'm fired up. The first, and I'll tease it for you this way. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first former South Carolina football coach I've ever had on my show. And not a head coach, but a coach in general. So that's all I'm going to say. You guys will see it, hear it tomorrow, but a massive interview. I mean, a massive get. Was able to get in touch with some common contacts or whatever and make it work. And I'm excited, man. Like I said, he's coming by the studio. It's going to be legendary stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. So really looking forward to it. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, if you guys want to call in, you can leave them here. You can text them. You can call the number 843-790-3377. But I gave my best bet out today, and I'll probably be posting like another social media graphic for it in a little bit. Also, I just posted. I'm bringing the simulations back. The NCAA football simulations. I'm bringing them back. Was wanting to do another full season simulation before the season started with Colin Hill as the starting quarterback. Honestly, guys, just have been way too busy. I mean, game week is just chaos. Obviously you guys get interviews out the ass, which is a good thing, but just did not have the time to do it. So I thought to myself, what can we do? What we're going to do is we're going to do game week simulations every Wednesday night, the week of the game. So tonight, South Carolina, Tennessee, with all the updated depth charts, everything like that, obviously game times, all that good stuff. So tonight, Tennessee, South Carolina, 7:00. Going to be doing it the same way I did before on Twitter and Periscope. That's just the only way you can stream until they're 14, really. So 7:00 tonight, though, just like we did the season simulation, I'm going to do game week simulations every single week. So this Wednesday, the Tennessee game. Next Wednesday, Florida. Next Wednesday, Vandy. You guys get it. So really excited about that because they are a lot of fun. And I mean, hey, it just gives us something to talk about, something to watch, and they're just fun. They're fun, honestly. So, and unlike before, I have the updated uniforms. I don't have the Black Magic unis, but I've got the updated unis for every single SEC team. The field has been updated. I've got updated stadium sounds too. So like Sandstorm plays whenever we kick off. The fight song plays when we score a touchdown. It's cool stuff. It's cool. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to NCAA, but it's cool. I like it. So really fun stuff. That'll be at 7:00 tonight. If you guys do want to tune in, obviously I'll post the link and all that good stuff to Facebook. But any questions, comments, whatever, Trip Roche, could you ever get a current player on the pod? That would be really interesting. So a lot of people ask me this. No. And the reason is that South Carolina, the actual university, they have a rule. They have a rule against current players going on any sort of radio, podcast, media outlet that is not affiliated with the university. So they basically put those guys. That's why you see me get guys that are either recruits or they're done playing at Carolina. They basically make it a rule where they can't talk to anybody that's not affiliated with USC. So obviously I'm independent. I'm not affiliated directly with USC. So I've had current players actually express interest in coming on, but they would get in trouble, and we obviously don't want that. So Savannah Webster, where are you streaming the NCAA game tonight? So it's going to be on Twitter, Periscope, and I'll post the link. I'll post the link to Facebook around like 6:50. But if you go to our Twitter, that's where you'll see it. That's where you'll see it. I like I said, I wish there was an easier way to do it. I wish I could just do it through Twitch, but streaming on PlayStation 3 is a nightmare. So, and the quality's so bad. So I figure, you know what, the best way to do it's like we did before through Periscope. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, 7:00, South Carolina, Tennessee. I'm going to have the guys wearing all black because I think we are going to wear all black this weekend. But yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, there's, like I said, they're a good time. So like I said, questions, comments you guys have, in case you missed it, I did release my best bet for South Carolina, Tennessee. And I know it's probably a bit surprising to some of you because I've been harping all offseason about the offense. And I am concerned. I don't think the offense is going to be great this year. I think there are so many questions. You look at just the depth chart, and we're going to talk about this, and we can talk about it if you guys want. But the wide receivers, I mean, you don't know who's going to be your top running back. You got a brand new quarterback. You got a brand new OC, stuff like that. With that being said, though, the over-under 42.5, and I'm going to check here really quickly. Let's see if it's shifted at all. I don't think it would have because this is the line as of last night. But let's see. Let's see if there's been any movement. Because it was Tennessee a 3.5-point favorite, over-under set at 42.5. Yeah, so it's still over-under 42.5, Tennessee a 3.5-point favorite. I think the over 42.5 is the best play. And I know that might surprise some people, but I could see this being a 24-21, 24-20, even 27-24 type of game. You know, I just, that's such a low number in college football already. Like, if you're going to play any pick in the game, you have to play the over. You can't pick the under 42.5. There's just no way. So, you know, we'll see. Obviously, South Carolina plus 3.5 is tempting as well, but you know, the hook, I would love to take South Carolina, or excuse me, over 42.5. Like I said, I don't know what I was thinking there. Over 42.5 is the best play in the game. That's what I think. Zachary is very excited to see Colin Hill perform Saturday night. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what Colin can do. I'm expecting him. I'm just expecting him to play an efficient brand of football. That's really what it is. I think I'm just expecting him to be efficient. You know, not turn the football over, know the offense, look like the field general. I'm not saying be a game manager or anything like that, but don't play yourself out of points. Don't lose the game. I mean, basically, if I'm Mike Bobo, I'm basically just telling Colin Hill, just don't lose the game. Give us a chance. Just give us a chance. Let our defense work for us. Give us a chance. Don't do anything crazy. You don't have to be the hero. You know, you don't have to be a hero for us. Let's see. SEC football too. I got us winning 27-24. Yeah, I mean, I could, that score, honestly, something around that is what I'm expecting. And I think it's a coin flip game. Like I said, I'll give my my official prediction Friday, but that's what I'm expecting score-wise for sure. Tyler Ellenberg, what's up, bud? Love the show and podcast. Appreciate it, man. Did Muschamp put out his weekly press conference yesterday? Yes, he did. It's on YouTube if you want to go watch it. It's on YouTube. Savannah Webster, do you expect us to come out really aggressive on Saturday night? No, I do not. I mean, I could be wrong, but no, I don't think so. I think this offense is going to be time of possession. Don't make mistakes. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You know, I've said all offseason, I don't think we're going to be must-watch TV by any means offensively. It just, how could you come out, you know, aggressive? I mean, you're going to have to figure out, you know, who are our guys, who are our playmakers. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope to see us stretch the field because I think you have to. You got to stretch you can't just run it every play and dump it off. You got to throw it downfield. So, I'm hoping to see us stretch the field a little bit, but I think it's going to be one of those things, like I said, where it's like, all right, Colin, you're the veteran. Go out there, be efficient with the football. Do not turn it over. Don't make mistakes. Don't play us out of the game. I mean, that's what I'd be telling him, honestly, because I think you can win this game 21-20 or 24-21 or whatever. But you're not. I don't see a scenario where South Carolina wins this game if they lose the turnover margin. I do not see it. Chandler Bryant, are you coming in the game or watching it at overtime? I will be at Overtime Bar and Grill. Yes. So if you guys did not see Watch Party on Saturday, everything going to get going around 5:30. You guys could show up whenever. I'm going to do a pregame show like this at 6 o'clock from the bar. Probably just 30 minutes. I feel like an hour is kind of long on a game day, but probably just 30 minutes Q&A, kind of gauge how everybody feels and everything. And I'll give my last second thoughts before the game. And then I am planning on doing a post game as well, which, depending on the result, could be ugly. But no, planning on doing a post game as well. But I will be at Overtime Bar and Grill. If you guys are in the city, you want to come out, it's going to be a really, really good time down the road from Willie B. I literally put up the graphic and everything and the details. I'm going to throw up another post today with the specials on Instagram, and they're great. I mean, the best deal in the city. Free admission. It's a family-friendly place. Obviously, you have a bar, but it's a family-friendly place until 10 o'clock. 18 and up can come. So if there's any students tuned in, whatever. And again, the specials are great. Drinks, wings, food, whatever. It's really, really good stuff. So going to be a good time. Who are the running backs that are starting? That's Greg Bettinger asks. Right now, it's Kevin Harris or Deshaun Fenwick. So I'm thinking one of those two guys will be the starter. Talk Palmetto, are you surprised that Joyner is a starter game one? I mean, yes and no, in a sense that Jalen Brooks' waiver got denied. So at this point, who the hell is wide receiver 3? I am a little bit in the sense that I'm just surprised that like a Josh Vann or even a Rico Powers didn't take that job. But, you know, it's good. I'm glad. I mean, we all want to see Dak succeed. I mean, a guy that had the opportunity to transfer and didn't. I want to see him succeed. So I'm not surprised in the sense, I mean, he has the athleticism. If he's learned the position, then, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. The dude's a freak athlete. So SEC football, too, win or lose, I do think it'll be a very competitive game. I agree 100%. Both teams have question marks. Both teams are very similar. I mean, you look at the spread, it's 3.5. It's a coin flip game. It is 100% a coin flip game. Savannah Webster, UT secondary decent, or will we have more luck running, you think? I think their secondary is pretty decent, yeah. Obviously, we're all familiar with Bryce Thompson, but yeah, their secondary is decent. Their defensive line is good. We're going to have to establish the run, though. We're going to have to. If we don't run the football well, we're not going to win. Just bottom line. We're not going to win because we're not going to go out there. I don't see this being a scenario we're going to go out there and throw it 40 times. I mean, if you do that, we're not going to win. You got to be able to run the football. You have to be able to run the football. Trip Roche, will you have a rant if we lose bad? I mean, bro, it's honestly, those are types of things I can't predict. Honestly. I mean, people think that like I planned the whole thing after the UNC game, and I really didn't. I really, really didn't. I did not go into that UNC game last year with any feeling of like, oh, if we lose, I'll say this, because I didn't think we were going to lose for one, but I don't go into it that way. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, obviously, if we lose 35-0, then yeah, there's probably going to be some sort of rant. Yeah, but I'm hoping not, dude. The content that I want to make next week is me dancing on Tennessee's grave. That's really because you hear all these narratives from not a ton, but I'm sure you guys have seen them, that there's some people out there, believe it or not, that think I want us to lose so I can go after Muschamp. No, the content that I want to make, I want to post Monday's podcast clip lighting a stogie talking shit about Tennessee. That's the content I want to post. Don't get it twisted. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we smack Tennessee. I'm just hoping we win. Honestly, I'm just hoping we win. But I'd love to see us smack Tennessee. I'd love to see it. All right, looks like we got a call here. Let's take this. I guess not. Let's see. I think that was a spam call. I shouldn't have answered it. Crowd interviews, LOL. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on who's there. Depends on who's there. Who wants to give their opinion. I'll definitely take opinions, score predictions, whatever, while we're there. Tyler Ellenberg, thoughts on Jalen Brooks and why he was denied from the NCAA, and if you think they will be approved him later on this season. We suck with the NCAA. I don't know what else to say. I mean, what else can you say? I don't know. I mean, and I hate to come after Tanner in this scenario, but this has kind of been my biggest criticism of Ray Tanner is that I think one of the reasons we get shafted by the NCAA so much is that we're not good. Because Ray Tanner's the one that has those communications. So how? I mean, it doesn't add up to me. I don't know if the NCAA hates us or what. I really don't. Will he get approved later in the season? Again, I have no idea. I mean, genuinely, I have no clue. SEC football too. If we don't have a good running game, then game over. Agree 110%. 110% agree. Talk Palmetto looking into the defense. Are the secondary guys going to dominate? I think that is an advantage for South Carolina. Obviously, I'm diving very deep into Tennessee today, as tomorrow's show obviously is going to be the preview for the game. But I definitely like the matchup. I think JC, Izzy, our entire secondary, we should have a good day. Especially going against Garantano, a guy that, listen, I know he shredded us last year, but I think the safety position is better, which is where you really got beat a year ago. And, if that D-line gets a pressure on him, I think it could be a game where you see multiple interceptions for this defense. Chandler Bryant, 14 carries, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Kevin Harris, I hope. My friend, if he has 14 carries for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, we might score 40. We literally might beat him by 30 points. That's an insane stat line. Coda, what's the chances Luke Doty sticks to wide receiver after the season with Alinsky being at quarterback and Colton and Gunner coming in the next couple of years? Honestly, and I hate to say it, I think it's a real – I mean, if you see Luke Doty ball out at wide receiver this year, I think there's a real possibility he stays there. And I know some people will hate to hear that. And I kind of low-key hate to say that because I was looking forward to him being at quarterback. But especially if Colin Hill plays well, stays healthy, and comes back next year, I don't know. I mean, who knows? All we know is this. We have no idea because you look at last year compared to this year, how much has changed. I mean, you just never know, man. So, Tim Woodward, predict defensive star for us. Are you talking about for this game or for the entire season? Because I'll say for this game, I'm saying J.C. Horn. I think he gets his first career pick. Star for the season, you could say J.C. for that too. I'm going to go Zach Pickens. Talk Palmetto, are you excited about the 2 tight ends starting Muse and Mullins? I am, yeah, especially Nick Muse. I think he's going to be a solid guy, dependable option. And then Mullins for sure. Yeah, I'm excited. Young guy, didn't play a ton last year, but I think the sky's the limit for him. So, yeah, definitely excited about our tight ends. It's like I said, I know that Gamecock fans love to talk about tight ends for whatever reason. Love to talk tight ends. So, let's see. But yeah, overall, so I mean, if you guys want to talk depth chart, we can because I've got a clip I'm going to post later later on social media today about it. I mean, the wide receiver position, man, like you're talking. I mean, obviously Jalen Brooks waiver gets denied. You have 2 quarterbacks and 2 freshmen at wide receiver out of your top 6, and hey, those guys might turn out to be studs, but wow, I mean, you can be the biggest optimist, the most optimistic garnet glasses wearing Gamecock fan around, but man, you have to admit it's concerning. Our wide receiver room is concerning, and honestly, I think this is as bad as we've been at wide receiver in decades. I mean, when's the last time you came into a season and felt like we didn't have good wide receivers, or you were concerned as we are this season about wide receiver? It's been a long time. I mean, it has to be pre-Steve Spurrier because you always had guys on the outside who you felt like were really good options. But this year, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Shi Smith, but man, like, hey, even if you want to say Shi, like, man. So I don't know. SEC football too. Our offense is young this year. Enough said. Yeah, I mean, young and unproven. I mean, even the guys that aren't young, they're unproven. So it's not to say there's not talent. I mean, there's not to say, and I've said that during the offseason as well. That's why Mike Bobo was hired. It's his job to take the puzzle pieces, put them together, and find a way to score enough points to win. Bottom line. I mean, that's, and again, I'm stating the obvious, but that's his job this year. He's got to find a way to make that happen. That's why you're getting paid the type of money you are. So, All right, taking your questions, 843-790-3377, or you guys can text in if you like to that same number, or just leave your comments here. Let's see. Trip Roche, you should try to get Bobo on the show. Like I said, I cannot get anybody on the show that is currently affiliated with USC in any type of way. So, I mean, I had Mark Kingston on the podcast last year before the 2019 season, and I had to jump through hoops just to get 6 minutes with him. So it's just not worth it. I mean, they make it almost impossible to get the guys. So I'm not too worried about it. Tim Woodward, Bobo upstairs or on field during the game? I think he'll be up top. I think he will be up top. Greg Bedinger, are tickets still available for general public? I don't know about through USC, but if you go to SeatGeek, in case you forgot, I have a promo code with SeatGeek. If you want tickets, if you're trying to go, because listen, tickets are not going to be cheap. They're not. Go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Spurs Up, and you can save $20 off your first purchase. And if you've already used SeatGeek before, I'm going to give you the code. Just create a new account. Create a new account, use the promo code Spurs Up, you get $20 off. So the tickets have actually gone down too, which is shocking. They've gone down to $113. Now, if you want to sit lower level, you're going to pay, $125, $210, but $113. How bad do you want to go in? So let's see. Let's look at the ticket prices. Yeah. So, I mean, they're all around. They range from $112 to $193. So if you're going to go, you might as well save yourself $20 because they're already expensive enough. Save yourself $20. Derek, is that an NCAA thing? I don't know. Maybe. As far as like current players and staff not being able to come on like outside media, I think it's a USC thing. Honestly, I think it's a USC thing because you saw Ed Orgeron go on Pardon My Take for Barstool. So I don't know. Jeff Huffman, are you surprised that Tennessee is the favorite Saturday? I'm not. I think that the way they finished last year, they've got a lot of momentum, and I think they have less questions than we do. But that's really what it comes down to is the fact they finished off last year so hot and we went 4-8. That's what it's going off of. You know what I mean? That's what Vegas is looking at. Also, not a packed Williams-Brice Stadium. That's going to factor in as well to it. So I think that's what they're looking at. So Chandler Bryant, which games are you planning on going to? So I'm trying to go to one. I really just want to go to one to take some video and stuff like that to kind of show you, like, I think it'd be cool to document what it's like to go to a Carolina football game during the pandemic and stuff. But honestly, I'm probably going to be throwing a ton of watch parties, man. Honestly, I really like the watch party idea. So we'll see. It's going to be a week to week thing. It really is. We've already planned though on a watch party this Saturday, obviously, and we're going to have a watch party next weekend for the Florida game, for the noon kickoff. So, haven't made the graphic or the announcement yet, but if you guys are interested, going to be doing that as well. So, should be a good time. Should be a really, really good time. Jacob, do you think we'll be ranked if we win, or will we have to beat Florida? Yeah, we'll have to beat Florida. I don't think one win over Tennessee is going to get us ranked. I doubt it, especially when you put the Big Ten back in the poll, which they will probably do. No, I don't think we'll be ranked. I think we'd have to beat Florida too. Derek, wish I had not out of my season tickets. Yeah, I mean, most people, nobody can blame you though. I mean, it's just the uncertainties of everything. Like I can't blame you, to be honest with you. So, like I said, guys, in case you're just tuning in and missed it, game week simulations on NCAA 14 tonight. We're doing South Carolina, Tennessee. South Carolina, Tennessee, and then each and every single week we're going to do that game that weekend. So next week, Florida, the following week, Vanderbilt, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. So if you guys want to tune in, it's going to be on Twitter, Periscope. Very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Excited for it. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a really good time. So. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, it'll be week by week for me. Ritter, 7:00, just the same as we did before. 7:00 tonight. I'll post the link on Facebook around like 6:50 or so. But yeah, 7:00 tonight. I feel like, all right, Chandler Bryant, you should go live on here while you seem like. I feel like that'd just be too much going on. Because I mean, here's the thing: I'm going to be live on Periscope, and I'm live on Periscope doing this. So, like I said, I wish there was a different way to do it. I really do, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just almost impossible. It's ridiculous, honestly. So, I mean, the only other option, the only other thing I could do is like sim it, record it, and then post it to YouTube later with my commentary. It's the only thing I could do. But I feel like the live, like the live, people enjoy the live portion of it. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be a thing for a different time, or maybe I'll adjust and do that. But I don't know. I think people like the live aspect of it. Justin Davis, what's a realistic record for us this year? I mean, I think I picked 3-7. I think 4-6 is realistic. I think 5-5 is realistic. Honestly, I say 6-4 is the ceiling. I mean, if everything just goes right, I'd say 6-4 is the ceiling. But I mean, 4-6, 5-5, I think is realistic. I've said before, I'll admit it, I'm going a little conservative with my picks at 3-7. I picked 7-5 last year and got absolutely burned. Obviously, when we went 4-8. So I want to be wrong in the sense we overachieve. I don't want to be wrong in that we underachieve. So I'm going 3-7 with wins over Ole Miss, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Like I said, I think 4-6 is very realistic. I think 4-6 is probably what will happen, because you just can't think that a South Carolina season is going to go according to script. That we're going to lose all 7 games to teams we should lose to and beat all 3 that we should. Like, there's definitely going to be – it wouldn't be South Carolina football if we didn't beat somebody we shouldn't, lose one we shouldn't. So, I mean, we'll see. But, yeah. Tyler Ellenberg, what are some weak spots on Tennessee's defense? Well, I mean, they're pretty solid defensively all the way around. I think Shi Smith can win on the outside. Again, I'm going to be diving into those matchups a little bit, like a lot more on the show tomorrow. But, I think Shi Smith can win on the outside. I think South Carolina can have success in the running game, too. The offensive line, South Carolina's offensive line, not getting talked about as much, but you got to win at the point of attack. That's the big thing. So, Talk Palmetto, being and staying healthy is a must this season. Yeah, I mean, I agree. You're not going to have the kind of season you want if you don't stay healthy. That's just a given. I mean, I think we all know that at this point. You got to stay healthy this year. You've got to stay healthy. So. Yeah, taking your questions, 843-790-3377. What are you guys' predictions for the game? I'm curious. How's everybody think the game's going to go? Mm. 21-17 South Carolina. Talk Palmetto. Again, I could certainly see that score. I think, again, it's going to be a low-scoring type of game. Defensively, defense is going to win this football game. And it's really going to come down to me, Colin Hill and Jarrett Garantano, which quarterback does not make mistakes. I mean, really. Chandler Bryant, great idea for next season. You should put a tent up by the stadium before kickoff and take people's questions and opinions. that was kind of my plan before everything went nuts. I mean, that was my plan, was to have a Spurs Up Show tailgate for every single game, and have just my sponsor the tailgate. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was the plan. But obviously with this year and the way everything went, but no, I love the idea. Trust me, I love it. Let's see. Somebody says, I expect some sloppy plays from Tennessee. Very possible with Jarrett Garantano at quarterback. He's not consistent. He's not consistent. So, Trip Roche, I think we're underestimating Tennessee. I don't think anybody's underestimating them. I mean, maybe some people you've talked to are. I mean, but I'm also, I'm not underestimating Tennessee, but I'm also not going to give them more credit than they deserve. I mean, they had a strong finish of the year last year, and Jeremy Pruitt's done a good job, but I mean, I don't think they're world beaters by any means. I don't see them as being world beaters. So, I could be wrong, but I don't see them as world beaters. So I think it'll be a very, very competitive football game. Coda, bold prediction. South Carolina puts up 30 against Tennessee. Now, that is bold. That would be a hell of a night. I mean, I love it. I hope you're right. That'd be one hell of a night. Tanner Poor, what do you think about Colin Hill? Veteran guy, knows the system. We'll see Saturday night. We will see Saturday night. I mean, he's sort of an unknown right now. I mean, obviously, I think from his film, you can see he can spin it a little bit. The guy can certainly spin it. But, he's an unknown. He's an unknown. And, I think that it's tough to say, like, what do I think? I mean, I think that he won the job, and we'll see how he plays. I mean, really, that's all you can say. I mean, we don't know. Can he stay healthy, and can he play well? Obviously, I'm pulling for him, though. I mean, obviously, we're all pulling for him. But, no, I'm expecting from Colin Hill, though, again, I'm expecting Colin Hill to be very efficient with the football, not put it in harm's way, not turn it over. That's sort of what I'm expecting from Colin Hill. So, I think it's going to look like a veteran's out there playing. I do. Talk Palmetto. I know Jay Urich probably wasn't going to get a ton of playing time, but hate it for his injury. Leader we need on the field no matter what. Well, I'll say, I mean, he's still going to be on the team. So that's the good thing. I don't think they're going to lose his leadership necessarily off the team. But, yeah, I mean, you hate it for him as far as the injury. But Jay is going to have so much bigger of an impact than football. I mean, his impact is going to go so far beyond the field. So I think it's all kind of like God's timing just coming together for him, with everything he's doing with the nonprofit and kind of what's going on this offseason. I think big things are ahead for Jay Urich. Chandler Bryant, I'm going bold, 24-10 Carolina. Would love it. Dominant day from the defense. You're probably getting a couple picks off Garantano. I'd love it, man. Tim Woodward, has Hill faced a defense that compares to a SEC defense? Did he play? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to remember, did he play in that game against Arkansas? And I can pull it up. Let's see what games he's played in. Okay, here we go. So Colin Hill. So at Arkansas, he went, this is 2019. This is last year. He went 13 for 23 for 99 yards and a touchdown. So he has played Arkansas. Let's see. At Florida in 2018, he went 2 for 8. That's it. So, I mean, in limited action, yes, I guess you could say. But no, also no. So this will be a test. This will be his first big test for sure. Talk Palmetto, if we start 2-1, how does the rest of the season turn out? Well, I mean, it's tough to say, but if you start 2-1, I certainly think you can get to 5 wins. Because if you're 2-1, okay, you've beaten Vandy. I think at that point you still do beat Mizzou and you beat Ole Miss. That's 4 right there. I'd like to think you can find a 5th out of Auburn, which I think will be closer than people think. Maybe Texas A&M. I know they're better than you, but you got them at home. You've played them so close. Kentucky. And then maybe can you pull one out of your ass and beat a LSU or a Georgia? But you got to think you can get to 5 if you start 2-1. You got to. Let's see. I didn't leave any off. It didn't. Okay, no, I didn't. Yeah. So I think if you start 2-1, I mean, again, we've all talked about why this Tennessee game is so important. I think it's the most important game on the schedule. I mean, I really, really do. I just don't think, and I think we all agree 5-5 or better is the type of season we all want to see and that you need to see is it just to show some progress and that things are moving back in the right direction. I don't think you can get – I just don't think you can get to 5-5 if you don't beat Tennessee. Tennessee's one of those swing games you have to have. It is if you're going to get 5 wins or more. So, Tanner Poor, were you surprised by anything on the depth chart? The only thing that really surprised me was I was surprised how thin we are at linebacker. You got Damani Staley as a backup at 2 of the positions. You got Spencer Eason Riddle as a backup at the other position. So, was surprised not to see Mo Kaba. I mean, it feels like we're kind of thin at linebacker. I mean, the other thing that it wasn't crazy surprising. Nothing on the depth chart was, but the other thing that just stood out to me was the wide receiver position, man. We knew it was an area of concern. I've talked about that all offseason, but to see it on paper without Jalen Brooks because his waiver got denied, but to see it on paper, the wide receivers are concerning to me. Very. Jeremy Smith still questioning our defensive line without Kinlaw, and that's fair, honestly. I mean, I expect Zach Pickens to have a big year, but until he does, it's an unknown. So, the thing that scares me about this defense, and again, I think the offense is going to they're not going to put the defense in such bad positions like they did last year, but the thing that scares me is that this is basically the same defense without Javon Kinlaw, DJ Wanham, and TJ Brunson. So, who steps up and fills in those roles? Especially, I think the one not being talked about enough is DJ Wanham. Like, he was such a playmaker, had a knack for the big play. Who steps up in that role? So, and I think you've got the guys, but going into week 1, it is certainly a question mark. Coda asks, with Connor Shaw taking over from Marcus Lattimore, do you think Shaw is getting coaching time in with the quarterbacks to talk game experience? I doubt it. I don't think he's doing a lot of coaching. And I don't think Connor's the kind of guy where he's going to overstep his boundaries and, come into Mike Bobo's room and come in there and start talking and trying to coach up guys. But, it's great to have him in the building. I'm sure that if they, have any questions or whatever, he's there for it. So, it's obviously great to have him in the building. Let's see. Okay. Chandler Bryant, we have hell of speed at wide receiver, but can we utilize them? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And you just have so many unproven guys, man. That's the thing. So many unproven guys. So many unproven guys. Like I said, I'm not saying that these guys won't turn out to be really good ball players, but man, it's just game 1, week 1. It's concerning for sure. Philip Carter Harris, I believe you said our defense is the best it has been since 2013. What does our defense stack up among the other SEC East defenses this year? Yeah, as good as it's been since 2013, as far as talent, stuff like that. Now, will it pan out that way? I don't know. And I'm not saying that this defense is as good as 2013 because obviously that defense had Clowney and a bunch of other big-time guys. But this is as talented as you've been since that unit. So where do you stack up as far as the SEC East defenses? You got to put Georgia at the top, obviously. Kentucky's up there. Florida's up there. I think South Carolina falls right in there. Along with, I think probably Georgia, Florida, and then South Carolina, Kentucky. Top 2 or 3 defense in the SEC East. And this has to be a top half of the league defense, in my opinion. So, Jeremy Smith, did you see where they compared Dak to Debo? Yes, I did. J.C. Horn comparing Dak Joyner to Debo Samuel. I hope he's right. Because that is some hella high praise. I truly hope he's right. That is fantastic praise for him. And, I hope it happens. I really do hope it happens for sure. So, But yeah, so I mean, wide receivers are concerned. I think you're going to see us try to run the football Saturday night. I think that's a given. That's a given for sure. And we're going to have to. If you can't run the football Saturday night, like I said earlier, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a very long night. So let's see. Talk Palmetto, only go-to guy I think is Jakari Caldwell. I mean, I'd like to think Shy Smith's a go-to guy. Shy's got to have a big year. That he has to. He has to. Shy's got to have by far his best year. Coda, Gunnar Stockton and Marshawn Lloyd are going to be one of the biggest duos in 2022 or 2023. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, really. I mean, I think they certainly could be. Greg Bedinger, Leggett showed promise last year. Yeah, I'm expecting him to have a big year. I am. I'm expecting him to take a jump. No doubt. I'm expecting Leggett to take a major jump. Tanner Poor, what do you think our record will be? I've got 3-7 right now. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. I'm thinking 3-7. Wouldn't be shocked at 4-6, but I'm sticking with 3-7. So again, taking your calls as well. Golly. Taking your calls as well, 843-790-3377. If you guys do want to call in, any thoughts, comments, question marks, whatever it may be. So let's see. Philip Carter Harris, what does Carolina have to do to leapfrog Georgia and Florida over the next couple of years? Is it possible? Got to recruit. Bottom line, simple as that. You got to recruit. I mean, you just have to. And I'm not saying recruit top 20. I'm not saying recruit top 25 classes. You got to recruit top 10 classes. I mean, if you truly or you got to recruit top 20 classes and you got to go hire a head football coach who is innovative offensively, who's going to develop talent. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But you have to recruit. I mean, I'm not even you guys know I'm not a huge recruiting guy. Like, I'm not nearly as diehard as some of you are in the sense that just, like when it gets closer, signing day, sure. But to me, none of it means shit until the kid puts pen to paper. None of it does. So that's why I don't get so caught up in what guys are saying. Or, I mean, it's awesome to get commits and stuff like that. But, and then again, guys, they don't always pan out. So, show me when you get on campus. All that hype in high school means nothing to me. But, I mean, the best teams in the country recruit at a top 10 or top 5 clip annually. They just do. So you're going to have to get to an elite level of recruiting, and or you got to hire a different head football coach who is innovative, forward-thinking, who can take the talent you have on the roster and develop it. I mean, really, you have to. Look at Spurrier. His classes weren't top 5 or anything like that. I mean, the best class came in 07, and it was 7th. Outside of that, South Carolina was between 15 and 20 every single year. But it was Steve Spurrier. He was able to get the most out of the talent he had on the roster. So I think that's what you're going to have to do. Tanner Poor, do you think if we only win one game, Muschamp will be fired? I mean, I've said that I think he's coming back because of the pandemic, but man, if you go 1-9, I don't even want to think about it. To be honest with you, man. Philip Carter Harris, really wish the stars aligned and we had the opportunity to pick up Mike Leach. I mean, it'd have been a fun hire. We'd have got a lot of attention from it. Do I think he'd have been the best option ever? Probably not, but yeah. How about this? 20 years ago today, Remember the Titans was released. Fantastic movie. Crazy stuff. Like I said, guys, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for you guys to listen to this interview tomorrow. Big time interview. Big time interview coming by the studio in about an hour and a half. Very, very excited. Very excited. Extremely pumped for it, for sure. So, again, taking your comments, questions. We got about 15 minutes left. 843-790-3377. If you do want to call in your questions, comments on the Tennessee game, anything else. Chandler Bryant, I think we have a hell of a year in basketball. Best team since the Final 14. I agree 100%. 100%. I mean, this is not me coming after Frank Martin, but this has got to be a tournament or bust team. Like, if you don't make the NCAA tournament, it's not a good year. With the talent you have, with the guard play, Lawson coming back, and just all the returners, you have to make the tournament this year. Coda, if Muschamp is fired, who's number one on your list of replacements? I'd love Joe Brady. I know a lot of people have been talking Billy Napier. I love Joe Brady, though. But really, everybody asks me this, Chris, who do you want to take over? Just give me a young-minded offensive head football coach. Just that's all I want. Obviously, he's got to be one to bust his ass recruiting. That's a given. But give me a young offensive-minded coach. That's really what it comes down to for me. Trip Roche, will Lawson finally go pro after this year? Yeah, if he has a good year, I think he'll go pro. So, but he's got to have a good. I mean, he didn't have a good year last year. Let's just call it for what it is. He did not have a good year. So he should have came back. So. Again, 843-790-3377. You guys have any questions, comments, whatever it may be. Like I said, Saturday night, Overtime Bar and Grill. We're doing the watch party there. I'm very excited for it. If you're in the city, come out. It's going to be a really good time. The venue is amazing. The specials are off the chain. I'm going to be doing a live pregame show at 6 o'clock, probably for about 30 minutes or so. Just kind of giving last second thoughts on the game, taking you guys questions, stuff like that. And then the plan is to go live after the game as well. The plan is to go live after the game, hopefully celebrating a victory. So that's going to be the plan, though. Jeremy Smith, who do you think the best player on our team is? Probably J.C. Horn, just the best all-around football player. It's probably J.C. Horn. Tanner Poor, how do you feel about Doty at wide receiver? Extremely athletic. Hope to see him touch the ball a lot this year. Chandler Bryant, what's your projecting starting five? Okay, so let's go down the list here. A.J. Lawson, Trey Hannibal. Down low, I think it's going to be – is it going to be Levesque or McCreary, you think? I think Keyshawn – let's go. Keyshawn Bryant, I think. Seventh Woods and Jalen McCreary. And Jalen McCreary or Wilton Levesque. So – Jonathan Moffrey, why can't Carolina try and develop a dual-threat quarterback? I'm not saying shove Luke Doty as a true freshman in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that, but I hope he does continue. I want to see him continue to develop a quarterback. I really do. Because, I do agree and think in the long term to win big at Carolina, to win big in college football, period, you need a dual threat. You need a dual-threat guy. You need a guy that can move. You do. Jonathan Moffrey, Stockton will probably move to receiver and Helinski will start. God, please don't say that. Oh my gosh. Woo. Coda, it's scary to see two quarterbacks at wide receiver. Yeah, two quarterbacks and two freshmen. Philip Carter Harris, any official word on when basketball will start? Yes, November the 25th. It sounds like is the start date. I think they're going to start practice like October the 16th or something like that. So but November the 25th is when they'll start. So. All right, got about 10 minutes left here. Questions, comments, 843-790-3377 if you do want to call in. I'm excited for the game, though, man. I mean, I'm to the point where, obviously we're doing tomorrow's podcast will be the preview show and everything, and I'm obviously very excited for that. But man, I'm to the point where we've been we've been previewing, talking about it all off season. We've gone in depth over it. We've gone in depth. I'm just so ready to see kickoff. Let's see what we got. You know what I mean? Brian Deal, Hannibal starts over Kusnar. No, so thank you. I was like, who am I forgetting? Jermaine Kusnar, duh. He will be in the starting five. So it's going to be Kus and Lawson in the backcourt, Keyshawn Bryant, Seventh Woods, and Wildens Levesque or Draylen McCreary. So with Trey Hannibal coming off the bench. I apologize for missing him. I don't know how the hell I missed him, so thank you for that. Chandler Bryant, who do you think is going to win the finals? I'd be so honest with you, man. I'm not an NBA guy. I haven't watched a single playoff game. I just really don't care. I'm just not an NBA guy. Philip Carter Harris, only conference games for basketball or normal schedule. I don't think they've announced that yet. So we'll have to wait and see. I think they will do a full schedule. I don't think they'll do conference only for basketball. So I think they will have a full schedule. Could be wrong, but I think they will. Tanner Poor, if Colin Hill plays bad, do you think they'll pull him out the game for Helinski? So this is a great question. According to or listening to Muschamp and Bobo, this is going to be Colin Hill's game. So, I mean, unless he throws 3 picks by halftime, I don't think he's getting pulled. But, obviously if he has a bad game, I mean, it's going to start up the conversation. Hey, put Helinski in. So we'll see. I mean, I'll be very interested to see what the leash is like for Colin Hill. We'll say that because you do have a guy behind him that played last year that played some good football for you. So, it'll be interesting. I don't know what the leash will be like. I think they're going to give him this game, though. I think they're going to say, hey, Colin, this is your game. Go ahead, rock with it. So, Christian Carver, I wonder if the men's or women's basketball teams games will be reduced because of the virus. And I know you're talking about the crowd. Probably so. I don't think we see full crowds at anything again until probably next football season. I think at some point we will, but it probably won't be until next football season. I mean, listen, I'd be down to say screw it and do it right now. I mean, hey, let people sign a waiver. If they want to go, let them go. Screw it. Why not? You want to go? Go. I'm not scared of COVID. I mean, I whatever. Wear a mask and go. Philip Carter Harris, if basketball team underperforms, is Frank fired this year? I'm going to say no. I don't think USC would fire Frank Martin. Unless, I don't know. I mean, and I don't want to be on the fire Frank Martin train because, man, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but our fans are so sensitive in the sense if you just say one critical word about Frank Martin, they're going to freak out. I think Frank Martin's a great basketball coach. Do I think South Carolina could do much better than Frank Martin, if at all? Probably not, really. But it's all I said this spring was at some point you got to have expectations. You have to set expectations. You know what I mean? At some point you do. So, if you miss the NCAA tournament this year, then what? Then what do you do? I don't think he gets fired, but there's got to be some sort of expectations. Dakota Lee Centerfelt, my score prediction for Saturday is 31-28 Gamecocks. White with the game-winning field goal in the last minute. Now, that would be crazy. That would be wild. Hey, I'll take a dub, though. I don't give a damn how we get it. I'll take a dub. I will take a W. 843-790-3377, guys. Taking your questions. Got about 5 minutes left. So any last-minute comments, thoughts, whatever. I'll be previewing the Tennessee game today for tomorrow's podcast. Very excited about it. Very, very excited to dive into UT, obviously kind of go over the game, keys the game, stuff like that. So really, really pumped to talk about it. Really pumped. And again, like I said, the interview for tomorrow, legendary. Stuff of legends. Stuff of legends. Such a fantastic interview to have kick off kind of like the game week or going in a game week or going in the game. I mean, it's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Donnie Walkoff, would you agree talent level South Carolina has is a roundabout pretty even with Tennessee? Shouldn't it come down to coaching? UT fans really are arrogant enough to think they're so much better. I don't buy it. Yeah, I think the talent levels are fairly equal, honestly. I think they're fairly equal. I think they have less question marks in the sense that, they have Jarrett Garantano playing quarterback. I think they have less questions offensively. But no, I think the two teams are very similar. And, yeah, a lot of it will come down to coaching. No doubt. No doubt. It always does. It always does. So, Tanner Poor, what freshman do you think will make an impact this year? Rico Powers for sure. I would say Tonka Hemingway on the defensive line. I would say, yeah, those are top two guys probably, Rico Powers and Tonka Hemingway. So I think they'll have big impact for this team. It is not Spurrier, Philip Carter-Harris. It is not Spurrier. I'm not even going to lie and try to tell you it is Spurrier. It's not Spurrier, but it is the first former Gamecocks football coach that I've had on my show ever. And wasn't a head coach, but former coach. So just to give you guys, I'll leave you with that. Christian Carver, if this was Kentucky or UNC, Frank, I bet would have been gone by now, and I like Frank Martin, though. Well, the expectations are just so different. You know what I mean? Like, you can't miss the tournament at UNC or Kentucky. It's not acceptable. And I'm not saying that, I'm definitely not saying that Frank or, this program should be held to that standard because we're not Kentucky and we're not UNC and we're not Duke. But, making the tournament every 2 or 3 years, I don't see why that's out of the realm of possibility. Like, I don't see why Carolina can't have a good basketball program. I don't understand why they couldn't. So oh man. Woo. All right, taking your questions again. We're about to wrap it up here. About a minute and a half left or so. Taking your questions. Anything else? Last call for questions. Taking your questions. Jonathan Moffrey, next head coach, Kurt Roper. I quit. If that happens, I quit. Christian Carver, Clemson has football kind of like we have women's basketball, if that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I get it for sure. Coda, what are your thoughts on Colton Gaither? I feel ever since Gunnar Stockton committed, Colton has been overshadowed. Well, that's going to tend to happen when a 5-star quarterback commits to your team. But, I mean, who knows, man? I mean, you never know who's going to win the quarterback battle. It's one of those things. Like I said, did we ever think a year ago at this point that the quarterback wouldn't be Ryan Hilinski, that it'd be a transfer from Colorado State? So much can change year to year, man. I think that's what makes college football great, is that things do change so much. It makes it so unpredictable, but who knows? I mean, Colton's a good player. Everything I've seen from his film and, seems like a really good player. So I might actually try to get him on the podcast and talk to him. I think that'd be a good conversation, but we'll see. We'll just let it play out, just let it play out. So let's see. Last question. Tanner Poor, do you think Gunnar Stockton is going to be an elite college player? Got all the hype. I certainly hope so. You got to continue to develop in the college level. You got to utilize his skill set, but I think he certainly has that ability. All right, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate all the love, support. We'll do it again tomorrow, 12 to 1. If you have not done so, check out the podcast. Episode 281 dropped this morning. Y'all have a good one. Take care.